Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Babun fi ityanil haizi. Right. So we should know that wati during haiz, right, is haram with consensus. However, there's ikhtilaf that the person who declares wati during haiz as halal is he a kafir or not. So according to the usul, he should be regarded as a kafir because he is going against an ayat of the Quran. However, in Sham it's written that he won't be declared as a kafir because wati fi halatil hais is qabihun li ghayri. It's not qabihun li aini, right? It's bad because of an outside factor. Then the other masla, the thing that comes in this chapter here, that all the kafaras has been mentioned here for a person now. That is by way of istihbab. The actual thing is that tawbah and istighfar, right? However, according to Imam Ahmad and one riwayat of him and Imam Shafi Rahman Qadim, there is kafara, right? There is kafara is wajib, right? So that's the one riwayat of Imam Ahmad and Imam Shafi's Qadim. And then in the hadith you'll find the word aw comes, right? They give a dinar or give a half a dinar. So that's according to Imam Ahmad means you've got a choice. You can give 1 dinar or half a dinar. And according to Imam Shafi, it's for tanwi'. In other words, you at the beginning of Hajj, you will give 1 dinar. If you did it towards the end of Hajj, then you will give half a dinar. Right. وبي قال حدثنا محدث قال حدثنا يحيى عن شعبة قال حدثني الحكم عن عبد الحميد بن عبد الرحمن عن مكسم عن ابن عباس رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم في الذي يأتي امرأته وهي حائض قال يتصدق بدينار أو نصف دينار قال أبو داود هكذا الرواية الصحيحة قال دينار أو نصف دينار وربما لم يرفعه شعبة. Narrator Ibn Abbas from Nabi in regards to the man who came to his wife while she was in the saying of Hajj. So he says that he will give sadaqah of 1 dinar or half a dinar. Imam Abu Dawud says like this is the Sahih riwayat. 1 dinar or half a dinar. And sometimes Shu'bah doesn't just make this riwayat marfu. Yahya and Shu'bah. You understand? Shu'bah is under Rawi, right? He doesn't make this riwayat marfu. Right, let's see. So he's saying like that is the Sahih riwayat. In other words, in opposition to the other riwayat which says where half a dinar is mentioned or another dinar where it is mentioned, Moosagie, 2/4 of a dinar. So he says this one is rather Sahih, this one. بدينار أو نصف دينار, right. وبقول حدثنا عبد السلام بن مطهر قال حدثنا جعفر يعني ابن سليمان عن علي بن حكم البناني عن أبي الحسن الجزري عن مقسم عن ابن عباس رضي الله عنه قال إذا أصابها في أول الدم فدينار وإذا أصابها في انقطاع الدم فنصف دينار. قال أبو داود كذلك قال ابن جريج عن عبد الكريم عن مقسم. Right. From Ibn Abbas, he says that when he made jima with the beginning of the blood, in other the beginning of the Hajj, then it's 1 dinar. When he made jima with towards the ending, towards the cutting off of the blood, then it's half a dinar. Mahmud says that likewise Ibn Jurayj narrates from Abdul Karim from Mixim. Right. So you can find here now. Another, you just mentioned another tariqi. Right. وبه قال حدثنا محمد بن الصباح البزاز قال حدثنا شريك عن خسيف عن مكسم عن ابن عباس عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ولذا وقع رجل بأهله وهي حائز فليتصدق بنصف دار. قال أبو داود فكذا قال علي بن بزيمة عن مكسم عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم مرسلا. وروى الأوزاعي أن يزيد بن أبي مالك عن عبد الحميد بن عبد الرحمن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال أمره يتصدق بخمسي دينار وهذا معضل. Right. Narrated here from Ibn Abbas from the Prophet when a man ejima with his wife while she's in the state of Hajj and should give sadaqah with half a dinar. Imam Buddha says And likewise, Ali ibn Bazima narrates from Miksam from Nabi Akram Mursal. In other words, the Sahabi is missing. And Uzai narrates from Yazid ibn Abi Malik, from Abdul Hamid ibn Abdi Rahman, from Nabi Akram. He commanded him to give sadaqah with 2/4 of a dinar. And he said, this riwayat is mu'dal. This one here now. What does mu'dal mean? That there's two rawis dropped off, right? And those two rawis are what comes after Abdul Hamid, right? So who are these two rawis here? They didn't mention. However, it comes in Bayhaqi. One is Hazrat Umar. The one is Hazrat Umar Rajalan. Right. So there's nevertheless it's mu'dal meaning there's two rawis in the sanad. There's two rawis that has been dropped off. Right. Babun fi rajul yusibu minha ma duna al-jima'i. The chapter regards a man who associates with her besides jima. In other words, he has relations with her, but not jima. Right. So when it comes to mubashirat haiza, so you associate and you have relations with her, then there's three types. One is what consensus is haram, the jima, right? And one is what consensus is permissible. That is ma fawqa surah wa tahta rukbah. All says you can take benefit ma fawqa surah wa tahta rukbah. You got it? Right. And one is that which is ikhtilafin, right? Although this one here, although there's Ibn Abbas who say in Ubaidah Sulaim Salmani, they say that's also not permissible. Nevertheless, they all say it's more or less ijma on the fact that ma fawqa surah wa tahta rukbah, where the consensus of the four it is permissible, right? And then they have now mubashara baina surati wa rukbati siwa al-kubali wa duburi. That's mukhtalaf fi. You understand? Right. Aimai salat. Right. And Imam Yusuf, they say it is not permissible. Imam Ahmad and Imam Muhammad, they say it is permissible. Right. So when it comes to this now, those who say it is permissible, they've got this here now. Right. Jaliliya. Isna'u kulla shayin illa nikah. Do everything except jima. Right. And those who say it's not permissible, they take all the other riwayats, which is coming. كان يباشر المرأة من نساء ويحيض إذا كان عليها إزار, right? When she's got an izar on, then you must make يأمر إحدانا إذا كانت حائضا أن نتزر ثم يضاجعها. You understand? That you would order one of us when she's in state of haid that you should put her izar on. You understand it? Those who say it's permissible, they say just putting the izar and putting the lungi on, the bottom garment on, that is istihbaban. Istihbaban, because they say it's permissible to take benefit with that which is between the navel and the knee, as long as you don't do the actual, as long as you don't touch the kubul and the dubur. وبه قال حدثنا يزيد بن خالد بن عبد الله بن موهب الرملي قال حدثني ليس بن سعد بن شهاب بن حبيب مولى عروة الندبة مولاة ميمونة رضي الله عنها قالت إن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كان يباشر المرأة من النساء وهي حيض إذا كان عليها إزار إلى أنصاف الفخذين أو الركبتين تحتجر به. The from Maimuna said Nabi Sallallahu would you associate with a woman from his wives while she was in a state of haze when she had an izar upon her until half the thighs or the knees, which she will cover up with. وبقول حدث مسلم بن إبراهيم قال حدثنا شعبة والمنصور بن إبراهيم عن الأسود عن عائشة رضي الله عنها قال كان الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم يأمر إحدانا إذا كانت حائزا أن نتزر ثم يضاجعها زوجها وأن تتزر ثم يضاجعها زوجها وقالت مرة يباشرها. And that Aisha رضي الله عنها Nabi to command one of us when she's in state of haze to put the izar on, then he would then the husband could lay or associate with her. And you said once, then you could make mubashara with her, right? Uh, let's see, right? There's nothing to explain here, right? وبه قال حدثنا مسدد قال حدث يحيى عن جابر بن صبح قال سمعت خلاص الهجرية قال سمعت عائشة رضي الله عنها تقول كنت أنا ورسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم نبيت في الشعار الواحد وأنا حائز طامس فإن أصابه مني شيء غسل مكانه ولم يعده ثم صلى فيه وإن أصاب تعني ثوبه منه شيء غسل مكانه ولم يعده ثم صلى فيه. Right. I heard Aisha radiallahu anha saying that I Nabi Akram to sleep in one cloth, like one blanket type of thing, right? Whilst I was in a state of haze and bleeding profusely, Thomisun. Then if anything would anything would afflict him from me, then he would wash its place and he won't go beyond that. He won't wash the whole garment, just there, that place. Then he would recite Salah in it. And if anything she meant his clothes would have anything would afflict his clothes from me. Right? Then he would wash his place and he would not go beyond that. Then he would recite Salah in there. Let's see if there's anything here. No, nothing there. Right. ويقول حدثنا عبد الله بن مسلمة يقول حدثنا عبد الله يعني ابن عمر بن غانم عن عبد الرحمن يعني ابن زياد عن عمارة بن حراب قال إن أمة له حدثته أنها سألت عائشة رضي الله عنها قالت إحدانا تحيض وليس لها ولزوجها إلا فراش واحد قالت أخبرك بما صنع رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم دخل فمضى إلى مسجد قال أبو تعني مسجد بيته ولم ينصرف حتى غلبتني عيني وأوجعه البرد فقالت أدني مني فقلت إني حاج فقال أنكشفي عن فخذيك فكشفت فخذي فوضع خده وصدره على فخذي وحنيت عليه حتى دفئ ونام. Right, that Ammar bin Ghurab says that an aunt, paternal aunt of his narrated to him that she asked Aisha radiallahu anha that one of us would get haze and there is not for her and for her husband except one bed. So she said, I will inform you what Nabi Karim would do. He would enter and he would go to his masjid. Abu Dawud says, meaning the masjid of his house where he would read salah. Right? Then he would not turn around, he would not finish off, right? Until my eyes would overpower me as I'll fall asleep. And the cold would cause him pain. Obviously now he was reading Tahajjud Salah, the cold would cause him pain. So he said, come close to me. So I said, I'm in the state of haze. So he said, open up your thighs. Then I would open up my thigh. Then he would place his cheek and his chest on my thigh. And I would bend over him until it become warm and sleep. So this obviously shows now that this type of mubashara is permissible while the woman is in haze. So they say, although the hadith is da'if, because in the sanad there is Abdul Rahman bin Ziyad and al-Afriqi. Let's see it, and Abdul Rahman yani ibn Ziyad. You understand it? Right. Right. There is ikhtilaf there in his sharah and ta'dil. Right. And likewise they got the Ummara. But Ammara both are majhul. Right. They got the Ummara ibn Kharab. Anna ammatan lahu. What you got there? Anna ammatan. Huh? What is saying Ummiyah, right? Anyway, however, the Mulaja with the Haiza is established from Sahih Hadiths, right? So even though this Hadith is weak, you can pick that from the other Hadith. And the ulama say if you do it following the Sunnah, then you will be rewarded. And obviously that mubashara with his ikhtilaf in that way you should abstain. Right. ويقول حدث سعيد بن عبد الجبار قال حدث عبد العزيز يعني بن محمد أنا باليماني عن أم ذرة عن عائشة أن قلت كنت إذا حدت نزلت عن المثال على الحصير فلم نقرب رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ولم ندن منه حتى نطهر. Aisha said that when I used to get haze, I used to come out from the bed onto the mat, and we never used to go close to the Muslim, and we never used to go close to him until we would become par. Right. So either you're going to say that this hadith is mansukh now, right? They should do that initially, and then it's mansukh, because obviously the other hadiths are all showing the opposite of that, right? That they should sleep together. And in the other, either you're going to make it mu'awwal, the ta'wil, you're going to say, qurbe makhsus, and it's never to come close, and it's never to make jima. You understand it? And then the other thing they have, they say they one Rawi day, Abul Yaman, he's mastur. What's the meaning of mastur? Is that you don't know his inside. You know? Outside you see looks like a good person. But the inside investigation you don't know, right? وبه قال حدثنا موسى بن اسماعيل قال حدثنا حماد عن ايوب عن إكرمة عن بعض ازواج النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال ان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كان اذا اراد من الحيض شيئا القى على فرجها ثوبا. Right, narrated from some of the one of the wives of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He said that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, when he would intend from the woman in haze anything, then he would put upon her farj a cloth. Right? So they need to cover up, right? وبيقول حدثنا عثمان بن ابي شيبه قال حدثنا جرير بن الشيباني عن عبد الرحمن بن الاسود عن ابي عائشه رضي الله عنها قالت كان الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم يامرنا في فوح حيضنا ان نتزر ثم يباشرنا وايكم يملك irbahu kama kana Rasul yamliku irabahu. Right. And Umar Aisha radiallahu anha said that Nabi Rasul used to order us at the beginning of our Hajj that we should put the izar on. Then he would make mubashara with us. And which of you can control his desires as Nabi Rasul could control his desires? So this can have two meanings now. So firstly, why I would say the beginning, in other words, the only thing you only put the cloth on them at the end of the Hajj, rather at the beginning of the Hajj also, he commanded them put the izar on, right? And which of you can control his desires, right? So there's two possibilities here. That others shouldn't make qiyas on Nabi Akram, and they should rather observe precaution. Rather observe precaution, because which of them, which of you can control his desires, Nabi control his desires. So from that ihtimal is sort of saying that rather don't do mubashara even, because which of you can control. The other possibility is just that here, that Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, right, despite having so much ability, right, he would make mubashara of the haiza. Then to a greater extent, it should allow you to make mubashara of the haiza. You understand? That Nabi Kareem himself, despite having more ability and more control of his desires, he would make mubashara of the haiza. Then the people who's got less ability to control their desires, they should be allowed to a greater extent to make mubashara the haiza. You understand it? That if he's doing it, then you who needs it more, because you got less control of your desires, should be allowed. Right. باب في المرأة تستحاز ومن قال تدع الصلاة في عدة الأيام التي كانت تحيض. The chapter in regards to the woman who gets istihaza, and whoever says she will leave al salah in the days, in the period of the days which she gets haze. Right. So now If you look at the riwayats, it's now all going to come, right? Some riwayats show you that you're looking at tamiz. Tamiz, that is color of the blood. Some riwayats showing you, watch the color of the blood. And some riwayats are showing you, look at the days of your habit. Right. Then some riwayats are showing you one ghusl. Some riwayats are showing you many ghusls. Some riwayats are showing you gathering two salahs with one ghusl. Some riwayats are showing you ghusl for every salah. Right? And some riwayats are showing you from Zohar to Zohar. And some riwayats are showing you from Tuhar to Tuhar. You understand? So that's how the wordings of the riwayats will be coming, right? What is the meaning of istihaza? هي دم يخرج من المرأة في غير أوقاتها المعتادة المعينة والمعينة. It is the blood which comes out from the woman out of her specified habitual times, right? And they say the istihaza is that blood, right? Where close to the womb there's a vein there, which his name is azil. Azil. That's where the blood is coming out. Whereas the haze comes from the inside of the womb. The istihaza is coming from a vein by the name of azil, close to the womb. Right. Then we look here now. If you break up the mustahaza, right, you get three types of mustahaza. One is al-mubtadi'atu, al-mu'tadatu, al-mutahayyiratu. And whereas if you look at all the four mazhabs, they got five categories, right? Which I didn't mention here. Right? Nevertheless, Ahnaf, they've got three categories. One is the Mubtadi'ah. Who's the Mubtadi'ah? The one who becomes Baligh and she bleeds one way. Ahnaf, what we say? 10, 20, 10, 20. Easy. 10 days here is 20 days. What's the name? Is bleeding from the beginning one way, right? Then the second category we mentioned was Mu'tada, the one who's got a habit. For example, 723, 723, 624. Then suddenly now this month you're bleeding one way. You understand it? You just go back to that habit. 624, 624, whatever it is, right? And the third is the mutahayyira. Mutahayyira is the woman who forgot her habit, right? She forgot. She forgot her habit. Her masla is very difficult. But we'll come to that, right? Jamhur, they take adat and tamiz, they accept both. And Ahnaf, they only take adat and they don't take tamiz. There's no such thing as color of blood according to Ahnaf. Jamhur, they look at adat and tamiz. They take both into consideration. They move with both. Ahnaf only take ayame adat, right? So if you look at the different categories here, right? The first one is mumayyiza ghayra mu'tada, right? It is that woman who knows this is his blood and this is not his blood. She can see from the color, but she doesn't have a habit or she don't know a habit, right? So Aimai Salah says, yeah, she just go with it because she knows this color of blood is his and this color of blood is not his. You understand it? So she started, so she maybe every month she's working with it, right? This color of blood here is my haze. Suddenly this month now, she has full bleeding, and now she can see the difference in the color. That now it's different color now. So that is istihaza. So that's my salah. They say she will go with it. Second is the mu'tada ghayra mumayyiza. In other words, that woman who's got the habit, but she doesn't have the distinction between the colors. So they also unanimously, they also say she'll go with the habit, right? Because now suddenly this month she's bleeding one way, she'll just go back to her habit because she doesn't see a difference in the color, anything like it, right? However, Imam Malik rahmatullah alayhi, okay, leave that, right? The third is mumayyiza mu'tada. She's able to distinguish between the haze blood and the non-haze blood by a color, and she's also able to distinguish. She's got the adat also there. Right? So if they say if the adat and the tamiz goes together, then well and good. The adat is also finished 7 days, and the color of the blood is also changing after 7. So then well and good, right? Otherwise, Ahnaf and Imam Ahmad says she'll go with adat. When there's a mix-up between the two now, you understand it? The Ahnaf says she'll go with adat, and the days of the adat, whatever color of blood come will be considered as a haze, and after that, whatever color of blood comes will be considered as istihaza. Imam Shafi and Imam Malik Ahmad say that they go with the color of the blood. You understand it? Whatever is known to be haze, that color, and whatever after that, he will discard adat and she'll just go with the tamiz, right? And the fourth category is the غير معتادة غير مميزة, right? Neither she got the adat, neither can she make tamiz, right? This fourth category here is into two types. Leave it today. We will do that now tomorrow. The fourth category.